Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Takeaway Tip Tuesday. I am your host, Ramona Remisat. I am an intuitive guidance coach, angel therapy practitioner, speaker, and co-author of two amazing Amazon bestsellers, 365 Days of Angel Prayers and 365 Ways to Connect with Your Soul. And welcome back to another episode. Today is June the 27th, I think we're at. I should know this because tomorrow's the last day of school and the kids are so excited. And today is also National Sunglasses Day, so get those shades on, get outside, soak up some vitamin D, and get out in nature, because that's how you're going to really connect with your inner wisdom and divine guidance. And that's part of what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm out here on my deck. I can't really even hardly see because of the reflections, so I don't know if you can see what's behind. There you go, there's our pond and the greenery and all of that awesomeness. And you may hear my wind chimes and my waterfall in the background. So yeah, let's soak up the summer sun. It's summer, yay! All right, so let's go back down over here. And I'm just going to give it another minute or so for people to kind of come on. And as you come on, feel free to say who's joining in, where you're joining in from. I always love to see how far and wide we reach. So hey, looks like there's some people popping in or trying to pop in. And today I'm going to be sharing with you an awesome technique you will definitely want to have in your spiritual toolkit. And the reason for that is because it's a great way to call in divine assistance. Whether you're feeling worried about something, anxious about something, whoops, or the wind blows your thing over, you want to bring in the things you desire. So this is going to be an awesome technique that can help you with all of those things. You know me, I love one-stop shopping, right? I love to give you guys tools, tips, and techniques that you can use in a number of ways to keep things simple. As always, I'm all about simple because none of us needs more complicated in our lives, right? So today I'm going to be sharing with you, like I said, an awesome way to call in divine assistance. You may remember that even though we feel like, shouldn't the universe know when I need help with something? They do, and it does, but again, you have free will. And so spirit is not allowed to intervene on your behalf until you give them the permission or the get-go to do that. And the only exception to that rule, again, is if it is a matter of life and death and it isn't your time, then absolutely divine assistance will happen and come your way. Okay? But other than that, if you need help with something, we need to ask, and we often forget that. And we often get all caught up in like, well, how am I supposed to ask? Is there a right way, a wrong way? All this, and there really isn't. It's a matter of just asking. But this tool that I'm going to share with you today is kind of a really fun and helpful way that will make it more tangible and more of a reminder for you to do that. Okay, so what I'm talking about is a wonderful tool called a God box. Now I'm using God box as a term. If you don't resonate with that term, that is totally fine. You can replace the name with something that resonates more strongly with your own beliefs. But essentially, it's having a container, and you're going to use that container to house slips of paper where you have written any of your worries, any things that you are requesting or things that you desire, any prayers that you have. And it's that way of turning it over and asking for divine assistance, right? It's a way of letting go and allowing spirit to help you instead of you thinking that you're in it all alone and that you need to come up with a solution or a resource or something like that, right? So basically you write down, like I said, anything that's burdening to you, or anything you desire on a little tiny slip of paper, and then you're going to tuck it into your little God box. And what is a God box? It could be anything you want. I like to make them a little more fun, and I like sparkle. So I have this one here, which you guys can see is very sparkly, right? So that is something that could be a God box, right? Something like this as well would make a great God box that you could use, and it's like a little treasure chest, right? You just flip it open and tuck your stuff into there. But it doesn't have to be as ornate as that. It could be simply, this is a box that had thank you cards in it, right? And, you know, lifts up and you can store your stuff in that. A plain old wooden box, like I keep a lot of my decks of cards in something like this, but they also could be used as a God box. So just a plain old wooden box that opens and shuts. This is a leather, you know, kind of box, if you will. You can even use a jar. You know, I have a jar that I use to keep, it's my good things jar. So when good things happen, or I get a surprise, or I see a beautiful thing in nature, or whatever, I write it on a slip of paper and I keep it in my good things jar. And then on December 31st every year, I open it up and I read all the good things that happen in the year, which is kind of fun. So it could be a jar, it could be a basket, it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be fancy, you don't have to go spending a lot of money. It's probably something you already have lying around the house. But I have to admit, it is kind of fun to go shopping at, you know, a home goods store or something like that, and find yourself a sparkly little God box, right? If that's what you like. So, you know, and then you're going to say, well, what about after a while I'm going to run out of room in that God box? You know, I got a lot of worries or things that I'm desiring, and what do I do as that box becomes more and more full? So here's what I like to do. I like to work with the moon cycles. And you may have recalled me talking about this before, but every full moon is about releasing and letting go. We have one coming up, I think it's July the 9th. So on that full moon, you can take all those slips of paper out of everything that you want to let go of, the worries, the cares, the, you know, stuff you're holding on to that doesn't serve you anymore, and just read them out and say, God, universe, source, angels, please, you know, get this away from me, right? And some people like the idea of ceremony, right? It's not a necessary, but if you do like that, then you can either burn those pieces of paper, which is very symbolic of releasing. Here's something you may not have heard of. You can put them in the freezer. You can get a container, fill it with water, put your slips of paper in there and freeze it, which stops that situation from progressing. Okay, so you can stick them in the freezer. You can bury them. That's really good for any kind of emotional healing, to really help with that support. Or, you know, just keep them in your God box. That's fine too. So those are some ways that you can clear that out. Then the ones where you've written down your desires or the things you want in your life, on the new moon, which is the time of manifesting, take those slips of paper out and read it out to the universe. And then at the end say, you know, God, angels, source, whatever, please bring me this or something even better. Remember, we are tunnel vision thinkers as humans. Universe sees all, can bring us anything we want. So why would we restrict ourselves, right? We want to keep it wide open. So please bring me this or something even better. I think there's a couple comments coming in, but I'm just having trouble seeing them in the sun. Hold on, bear with me here. Oh, Jane McSherry's here. Awesome, Jane. Thank you for being here. And I hope this stuff feels helpful, you guys, about using a God box. If you're coming in part way through, please go back and watch from the beginning. Because this is a really, like, it's such an easy tool. And if you have this sitting out, you know, you have your sparkly God box, something like this sitting out, that's going to remind you, oh my God, I'm worrying nonstop about this issue. Why am I worrying about this? That's going to have a vibration that's going to take me down and spiral me down even further. Instead, I'm going to write down what I'm worried about and turn it over to Divine Source for help. I'm going to put it in my God box, right? And then, like I said, on the full moon, July 9th, take those slips of paper out, read them out, get rid of them. And if you really want to get into the whole thing, burn them, put them in the freezer, bury them, as I said, is really good for emotional healing. And that clears out your God box for the next 2 weeks, where you can start adding more stuff in. And it's that constant cycle of letting go and bringing in, getting out, rid of things, and then manifesting in, right? Every new moon you bring in, every full moon you get rid of. And it's this beautiful sort of nonstop, you know, decluttering, if you will, of your energy, you know, the things you're holding on to that you don't need to be holding on to. And universe can't step in, like I said, until you give them the go-ahead. So make sure you're turning it over. This is, like I said, it's a way of letting go and allowing source, divine spirit, whatever you want to call it, to help you, because that's what it's there for, right? It's your birthright. It's not like awesome life is for the chosen few. It's like, you know, universe is sitting there going, for you, not you, don't know about you. It's everybody's birthright. We all can have an amazing, wonderful, awesome, abundant, healthy, fabulous life. So oops, there goes a piece of paper. It's okay, we'll get it. And yeah, so that's what this is about. It's about really stocking your, like I said, your spiritual toolbox, because there are going to be days where life's throwing stuff at you. And, you know, you're like, what do I do now? You want to throw up your hands in despair. But instead of that, you can just look down, open up that toolkit, reach down and be like, oh yeah, I have a tool for that. Here it is, between my wrench and my hammer, right? And start using the tools that you have. But you have to have a lot of tools, because there's some days where the go-to tool might not work. And you might not feel it. You might not be in the moment. You're like, oops. You might not be feeling that. So then you reach for another one. Then you reach for another one. And you keep reaching down until you find something that's working for you that day. Okay, so I hope that's making sense. And if this helps you, I would love for you guys to share out this video. Let other people start building their spiritual toolbox. And let me know if you are going to grab yourself a God box. Post pictures. That'd be so fun to see everybody's different things that they've chosen and selected to use as their God box. Like I said, you don't even have to go and spend money. If you have something around the house already, you probably do, you know, something that you can use. But I'd love for you to share it here, and we can all see each other's things that we've selected. That would be great. And finally, as always, I have an extra resource for you, and if you haven't grabbed it yet, please do so. It's a video series that I've put together called The 3 Essential Steps to Getting Anything You Want in Life. There's no charge whatsoever. There's no catch. It's my gift to you, and I will put the link below, but it's available at ramonaremisat.com/free gift, and it's my manifesting recipe, if you will, on how to get what you want. So you got to include all the ingredients, and you have to know how to work them all together, and that's how it all kind of comes together. So anybody have any questions, comments? That seems like this is pretty straightforward stuff. Like I said, it's not rocket science. Spiritual tools are not big and complicated, because if they were, who the heck would use them? Right? We want to keep it simple and accessible and, you know, ready, willing, and able for everybody to use these. So I hope you guys put this into action, and then, you know, I'd love for you guys to come back too and let me know how that's working for you. If you're finding that it really helps you to release things that you're kind of holding on to, you know, I would like to get other people's perspective of how this tool works for them. So feel free to share that here as well. And I think that's pretty much it for this beautiful day. Again, here we are with the water and the greenery, and I got some flowers, and we finally power washed the deck, so I'm not here in a million spider webs. I mean, they're still coming back, but it's not as bad as it was. Jane is saying thank you. Yeah, keeping it simple and real. That's what it's all about, right? We don't want hocus pocus, stand on your head, run naked in the moonlight kind of stuff. We just want real stuff that's accessible and easy for everybody to use. That's what I'm about. So, like I said, if this was helpful, feel free to share it out. Let more people build their toolkits. And if there's something you really are interested in, you've kind of heard about, you really don't understand it or whatever, that you want me to talk about on Takeaway Tip Tuesday, please post below, because I would love to be able to share more with you on topics that you're interested in. I can always kind of come up with something, but it's a lot more fun if it's addressing a specific need that you guys have. So please post that as well below if that's, you know, if something is on your mind or that you've been wondering about, and we can make that happen. I am hoping to bring in a special guest in the next little bit to talk to you guys about animal totems, because it's kind of been coming up. You know, people are like, I keep seeing this animal, or why is this thing showing up in my life? And, you know, what does it mean when I see a blah, 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 right? So I have some resources around that, but I'm certainly not an expert at that. But I have somebody in my life that is very knowledgeable, and so I want to bring her in. I'm just working out some of the technical details of how we can share that here with the two of us to host that. So that's on the books, and I hope that that's something you're interested in. If that is something you're interested in, type yes in the comment box. So I know, and then if we have enough interest, then like I said, we'll make that happen. So enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Thank you again for watching. I do appreciate you being here and sharing your time with me. It means a lot. And we'll see you back tomorrow morning with the daily angel guidance message. See you later, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye.